What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus, and welcome back to the Save Point Podcast, episode 3, the new and reformed Save Point Podcast on this channel. No, I have a lot of stuff to talk about this week. I'm actually feeling pretty geared up. Central topic is going to be talking about Hollywood. Okay, I want to talk about Ezra Miller again. I want to talk about the slap heard around the world, all that stuff. But I want to, break it down again in terms of what I've been playing, what I've been watching, some news stories, some other kind of smaller stuff that I want to quickly touch on, and then we will get to the main topic of today's episode, okay? The best way of supporting this, by the way, if you do enjoy it, is, of course, leaving a like. There's really not too much you can do specifically on this channel. Leaving a like, subscribing, all that good stuff. Leaving in the comments future topics, future questions, or things you want me to talk about. Those are all very, very helpful to me. And if you guys don't do it, then I will just do it myself, and that is more than cool. More than cool. All right, so I want to talk about what I've been playing, what I've been watching. So I just watched, I'm recording this on Thursday. Sometimes I record these on Thursday. Sometimes I do it on Friday. I'm probably going to watch Moon Knight very, very soon, but I just haven't done it when I'm recording this yet. So maybe we can talk about that next week, maybe like the first 2 episodes. But I did watch Halo episode 2, and I did a whole review on this channel on it. It's horrible. It's god-awful. My throat's hurting a little bit, so I don't want it, and I talk very loud. So I don't want to go on too long about things that just make me very upset and very mad, which is what Halo does. And actually, well, the celebrity stuff makes me very mad too, so I'll save my voice for that part. But no, it's a horrible, or so far, horrible show, horrible second episode. I can use buzzwords, big buzzwords right now to describe that, but in reality, you can just watch the review and I kind of break down more specifics, and I think I give pretty good reasons for why I hate it as much as I did. So like I said, Moon Knight, haven't done it yet. What else? Morbius. Well, in the terms of the news stories, right? With I saw the after credits scene, so I did visually watch that. I just haven't seen Morbius the film, and I'll tell you this though, based off of the reviews, and the reviews are the reviews, right? They're horrible. They're very low. They're actually much lower than I thought they would be, but it still doesn't mean all that much. And I think, well, one of the things that I am noticing, right, is I did see one review that compared it to Venom. They're like, if you liked Venom, you may like Morbius. I've only seen one person say that. The people that I've seen, not even critics, that have seen Morbius have said it's awful. So I really want to hear from, I'm going to probably post it on Twitter, maybe Saturday, Sunday. I want to ask people, who actually saw it, that follows me, and I want to hear from those people, because those people actually, at the end of the day, they matter the most to me, more than critics or more than Rotten Tomatoes or Metacritic or anything like that, right? I've said it, I don't want to pay for this. I don't want to pay to see Morbius. And you could even make the argument, some YouTubers can make the argument that you can make content. I don't think I'd even make the money back in a review for Morbius that I would put into buying the ticket. I don't make that much on an individual video unless it's a huge video. So I don't actually think I can even justify it in money and financial means to go see Morbius in theaters, even to see how bad it is and to do a breakdown review where I just hate on it. And that's only if I don't like it, right? Because I do want to I've said this before, I'll see it. I'll see the movie. Once it comes out digitally, okay, I will find a way to watch that movie. And when I do, then we can talk about it, in a couple months from now or however long it's going to take for it to get there. So I saw the after credit scene for Morbius, but nothing else. And but I do want to know, what average everyday people have to say about it. In terms of gaming, I'll tell you guys right now, okay? Gaming is all backed up. We've had a tremendous 3 months, and really beginning a 4th month with Lego Star Wars and MLB The Show. We've been spoiled, okay? I don't really like to use that term in general. I think I've said that before. The term we've been spoiled in terms of games. I mean, we buy them, and it's the gaming division. It's the gaming entertainment medium. It's their job to provide games. So I don't really know if you can consider us spoiled, but we've had quite a year so far. And I guess what I'm trying to get to is it's getting a little overwhelming. Now, I had made a personal life change, and it's not stopping, if you stop smoking or, you make some big health thing. I am a little bit dieting, but it's not like that. But over the last 2 years, as I've said a couple times on both channels, I've really made the effort to beat games for the longest time. My entire gaming career, I never really beat games. Now when I say that, I did beat some games, but I didn't beat all games, right? A lot of games I'd play some of it. I'd play enough to get a feel for it, and then I just wouldn't finish it. So I missed out on a lot of incredible games at the time they released, and eventually I went back to, like, my favorite games of all time I played. I've played through many, many games, but it took a real special game for me to do that. I, back in January of 2020, wanted to change and say, well, even if it's just an average game that I'm enjoying or I'm having fun with, let's beat it. Let's make the effort and let's beat it. And over the last 2 years, I've beaten, 30, 40, 50, 60, probably 50 or so games, most likely. That's a lot for me in the past, 2 years, considering before then, I probably beat 50 games in 9 years. You know what I mean? So I guess what I'm saying here is I'm trying to go through every single game. It's been a little difficult with this, with the job, with a family, with a life. And then also, there's a lot of games that came out over the last couple months. Now, the games I'm personally playing right now, Kirby. I'm playing Kirby with my daughter. We're getting there. We're about halfway. We're a little bit more than halfway through. Liking it a lot. Now, she's not very good at games, my daughter, so it does get me frustrated a little bit when I'm like, okay, well, just come here, move. I will say, it's fine. She's 8 years old. Like, she's going to learn. What I will say, though, is Kirby is one of those games where, like, the camera pulls. So it's like if she's in one area and I'm like, all right, well, let's go check this corner, because sometimes there's, like, hidden things. She needs to walk to me so that the camera and it'll always move me, never her. So if she's moving in one direction, I will be transported to her. The camera will move towards her, not towards me. So, like, if I'm trying to look for things, there's collectibles and stuff, and she's not, and I'll remind her, and she's getting a lot better. Like, we've played it maybe 5 days, like every single day, and she's getting better each day. But the game is in a way where it really follows that main player. So the fact that she is, maybe I should have been the main player. The main player is Kirby. I think she would want to play as Kirby, so she is. You know what I mean? So I'm liking it, though. It's a good game. It's a fun, solid family game. Levels are cool. Very much reminds me of, like, Mario Odyssey, Super Mario Odyssey, or honestly reminds me a lot of, like, Astro's Playroom. It reminds me a lot of something like that, but we're enjoying it. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Wonderlands, plural, is the game's name. We're playing that, Christy and I, having a lot of fun. It is Borderlands. I've seen some reviews. I never actually read or looked at any of the reviews. I saw the score, like the average score, but I never saw the reviews for Tiny Tina when it came out, and so I went back a couple days after we played it, and I get the criticisms. I mean, it very much is. It's just Borderlands. It's Borderlands. It's the Borderlands formula. It's with a fantasy Dungeons and Dragons like thing. I'm enjoying it. I think I'm enjoying it for two reasons. Number one, I'm playing it with Christy. So co-op. Number two, we don't really play all of the Borderlands games all of the way through. So we're not really, like, burnt out in Borderlands. I would not say that. And I think a lot of other people are, right? If you play every single Borderlands game all the way through, you can tell the formula is getting stale. You can tell it's in need of some sort of, not really a reboot, but it needs some sort of, like, fresh paint, on top of it. And this game isn't that, you know what I mean? So I get that. I get the criticisms of this game, but we don't really play, we try to play co-op games when co-op games come, but there's just not many that release. So when a game like Borderlands, when a game like Tiny Tina's, right, comes out, we're into it. And so we've put about 16 hours into it. We're doing everything. It's probably going to take us like 30, 40 hours to beat it. So maybe we're halfway through. We're more than halfway through for, like, the level. The thing is, I think we are getting close to being done, but because we're doing everything, we're definitely extending the playthrough of it. But we're, like, level 27 and only goes up to 40. So, like, we're almost there. So I'd imagine, by the time you guys see this video on Saturday, we're probably even closer. Hopefully early this upcoming week we should beat it. And that's kind of it. I haven't played Elden Ring, and I haven't played Horizon in about a week and a half, and I'm getting worried because if I take too long a break and it's not even, I don't even want to take a break from Elden Ring, but I'm playing Kirby, and then my wife gets home after dinner, like we play Tiny Tina's, and there's other stuff, like I watch hockey a lot, so I watch the Sabres play. It's like I don't have enough time. There's only like 5 hours at night, and then a couple of those hours are taken each night individually for other things. And it's like we don't have that much time to play these games. So, like, I haven't played Elden Ring. I haven't played Horizon. And Horizon, I think, is a game you could jump back in after a couple of weeks. No real big deal. Elden Ring is not like that. You know what I mean? So I'm a little worried that when I go back into Elden Ring, I'm going to get discouraged and I don't, you know what I mean? So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm hoping I can get back to Elden Ring relatively soon. But then you got Lego Star Wars coming out in just a few days, and that's gonna take up all. I'm giving all my time to Lego Star Wars, so it's gonna be a while, I would say, before I beat Horizon, before I beat Elden Ring. Dying Light is still just sitting there, digitally gathering dust. Sifu is digitally gathering dust. It's tough. But, who am I to complain, right? We all have our own individual issues. My main issue in life is trying to beat all of these freaking video games, all right? So that is that segment. Of course, you can always let me know what you guys are up to in the comments. That'd be kind of a fun thing just to see what you guys are up to. Now, in terms of the main topic, the week that Hollywood has had. So obviously, you have to start, I think, with the Will Smith slap. Now, I made a video on this, but it's an exclusive. I every month for Patreon/YouTube memberships, supporters, the $5 tier. Okay, I give an exclusive video. So I did an exclusive video for the month of March, and it was talking about the Will Smith slap. My opinions haven't changed much from that video. Now, if you want to watch that video, you support $5 or more on the main channel, and you get access to that video. And I think it's a pretty good video, but I can talk about it a little bit here as well. It's a joke. I find it funny. Like, I think it is funny in terms of just Hollywood falling apart on itself. I would side with Chris Rock. I think, whether or not you care for the joke, I don't think it's a good joke. I think it's a joke that's lame. I think it's a joke that's like several decades too old. I don't think that was a funny joke. Not like it's, you know what I mean? Because now, do I think he should have been slapped because of it? No. Okay, I'm just saying, if I have anything negative to say about Chris Rock, I don't really think that joke was funny at all. I've never really been into his kind of humor at all. I don't really think he's funny in general, but I don't care for anybody in Hollywood besides, a couple people here and there, right? So in terms of that, that's where I stand. But it's just funny to see what's happened since then, right? And really, again, it's not even about the slap. It's really about what the slap meant for everything. Do you know what I mean? Where, you don't do that. You don't ever use violence for words. Whatever happened to words, words can never hurt you. Whatever happened to that idea? Now, the answer is that Will Smith has a lot of stuff going on up here and in his heart that he's not dealing with. That is fully my opinion on it, that this is a broken man. He's got issues with the relationship. And I guess, okay, I'm not a therapist. I'm not them. I'm just talking based off of me. But again, who cares about these people, right? So I think I don't really, for people that say, oh, well, you're not allowed to talk about it. Sure I am. Sure. If you can tell me that I can't talk about it, I can surely talk about it. In fact, if people tell me that, I'm just going to want to talk about it more because you told me not to. Do you know what I mean? They've come out and talked about their relationship, Jada and him, right? It's, in my opinion, it's not a good, I've never, ever supported that kind of, but here's the thing, you do you live the life you want to live, you live the relationship with another person the way you want to live it, I don't care. Their relationship being in the gutters, and them having an open relationship and all that stuff, but really only Jada, right? Them doing all that truly means nothing to me. It's not going to change my relationship. It's not going to change my life. I'm not pacing back and forth thinking about the relationship. But when somebody does that, when Will Smith does that, that's the real issue, right? That he's living in this broken life, broken family. It doesn't seem like he supports the open relationship, but obviously she wants it. She's always wanted it. And I think that kind of stuff probably eats at him. And so when there's a joke, that's your opportunity to do something. You can't do anything about the because you're a coward. You're not. And I would say that. I think Will Smith has some serious issues. I think he needs to talk to, not a therapist, he needs to talk to Jada. They need to figure stuff out. Now, he can also talk to a therapist, but you have to talk to your partner and figure it out. And you could say, well, Alex, he doesn't have to do that. Fine, he doesn't have to. That is true. But what he can't do is let that eat away at him and become a shell of a person who slaps somebody for making a joke. Just because you don't like what somebody has to say, whether it's a joke or whether it's an actual comment. If somebody says a comment to you, if you think the proper response is physically assaulting them, and I get it. When you say the word physical assault, that's a big word. It's not, okay, big. It's a big thing. You know what I mean? When you think of that in your head, you think of some pretty severe consequences when you think of the words physical assault. But a slap is that. I mean, it is. I mean, he physically hand assaulted another person. That's what he did. And if you think that's okay in any way. No, it's not. It's not. You don't go around slapping people across the face for making a joke or even just saying a comment. You deal with it behind the scenes. You cut them off from your life. You do whatever you feel is necessary to do to that other person. That's how you deal with it. And then if it hurt you because of your own what's going on, you need to solve that, because you can slap as many people as you want, but that's never going to heal what's going on between you and your partner. And that's literally the situation they have. Now, that's more of like a person-to-person thing. Now, in terms of the academy, it's hilarious. It's hilarious to see it burning down around them, where at first they said that they didn't say anything to him because they were all seated at different areas. Then they changed their story, which nobody's really calling them out on. They changed their story to say they did ask him to leave, but he refused. Oh, okay. So you politely said, hey, Will, if you want to just take the door to your left, just to leave, if you could. I mean, you don't have to. You could go. And he said, no, I don't think I'm going. Okay, sorry, Will. We'll go back to drinking. You party it up, and we'll talk later. Like, are you serious? You asked him to leave. So, like, they're trying to say whatever they think people want to hear, right? The academy, and it's just making it worse for them, right? I think generally people are on the side of you don't go around smacking somebody for a joke. So I think we're all there, or most people are there. And then it's like, okay, so he probably should be punished for that in some way. He should be punished from that. And one of the ways is to rescind the Oscar, to not give him the Oscar in the first place. Well, no, they still did that right after. The other thing you could do is, yes, kick him out, tell him to go. And did you hear what I said? Tell him to go, not ask him to go, not politely go up to him and say, hey, Will, yeah, you kind of made a scene, and millions are watching, so can you leave? And he says, no, I don't think I will. Oh, okay, sorry, we took up your time. Sorry, we'll go. Like, are you serious? Get the security and escort him out. He doesn't get to say no. Like, so that's, to me, it's like, okay, well, they're saying it because the idea that he wasn't asked to leave or he wasn't removed is probably a big issue, right? I think a lot of people are probably saying that. I think they're probably asking each other, well, why wasn't he taken out of the building? And then they think, okay, well, what's a good way of like wording this for the people at home? Okay, well, let's tell them we had it under control. We tried to get him to go, but he just wouldn't go. Maybe even that is like supposed to blame him. But at this point, when as the academy, when you say that out loud, you look like morons. You look like you asked him to leave. You don't have the power to demand that he leaves. You don't have the power to tell him to leave. You politely asked him to leave. So, I already don't have great thoughts about Will Smith, but now, in terms of the Academy, it's not like I ever really respected the Oscars or the Academy, but it's like they're trying to clean up. They're trying to do damage control, and they're doing the worst possible job you could ever do. So that's that situation. I'm sure there's more to say, but again, I did it in that one video, and I do want to talk about Ezra Miller, because that's not the only thing Hollywood had to deal with this week. They had to deal with that. I guess you could argue Hollywood also had to deal with Morbius, had to deal with Halo and stuff, but that's being a little picky, right? In terms of what else Hollywood had to deal with was Ezra Miller doing what Ezra Miller does best, attacking women. and oh God, I'm keeping that joke in, because look, I said this in the videos on the main channel, I wish Ezra Miller the best. I hope that Ezra gets help. I do. I truly do. But my opinions of the situation with Ezra, and with, Ezra being arrested and all of that stuff, like, that happened, and I hope Ezra gets better, and I hope Ezra gets help, but I'm not going to let go these double standards in Hollywood. Like, that is my main thing, right? Ezra can go to therapy and get help and all that stuff, and Ezra can still be in The Flash. I do care about that, but I don't care about it nearly as much as the central issue, which is and I said this in that video, where are the goddamn standards in Hollywood? And I'm not, and again, like, I do it because I'm trying to play their game, right? Cancel culture is their game. So when somebody does something to a woman, or when they get canceled or Me Too'd or whatever, you know what I mean? Or, certain kinds of men or certain kinds of people in general are looked at as evil by a section of humanity, of Twitter, of Hollywood. I'm playing by their rules. So if Johnny Depp gets accused of doing things to Amber Heard, even though that never wound him up in jail whatsoever, that was never about him going to jail. He didn't do anything worthy of going to jail. And Amber Heard did so much more than he did. But he's the man and she's the woman, and Hollywood, we know how the rules go, so he's out. All right, well, guess what? That's the stupidest thing you could do. I hope you all pay for that. I hope Fantastic Beasts 3 pays for that. I hope Aquaman 2 pays for that. I hope Pirates of the Caribbean future movies pay for that. And I think all that stuff will happen. Okay? So you have all that. But then the second thing is, all right, well, I guess Amber Heard. Well, where's the punishment for her? Still waiting. Number 3, Ezra Miller is literally caught on camera and is literally being thrown in freaking jail and needing to get out on bail for assaulting women. Okay? Where's Ezra's punishment? Why is Ezra walking off scot-free? No, maybe he's not, but I have a feeling he is. Whereas Johnny Depp is literally blacklisted from Hollywood. What secrets does he know? Does Johnny Depp know that got him kicked out? It's got to be something. He's got to think somewhat, which is weird because he's said stuff in the past that makes me think he's very much in the same mindset as all of Hollywood in terms of where they all stand, like politically and stuff. I always got the sense Johnny Depp was like right there with them. I've always done that. So I really don't know what he's done to warrant them just completely. I guess, again, it's like that domestic abuse against Amber is like too much, but again, it doesn't result in jail time. I never said he's a perfect person. Nobody ever said anybody's a perfect person. Has he asked for forgiveness? Has he turned his life around? What was the actual situation? Can we look at the situation of why somebody would do that? Not saying it's okay, but can we try to figure out what was going on in his head, where his life was at the time? Did he lose family members? He did, right? Was Amber pushing him to the edge? She did, right? Can we look at those things? Again, like, I'm not saying he's not guilty or I'm not saying she's not guilty, but, like, also you can forgive. You can turn your life around. Now, again, that's what I'm saying for Ezra. I have no problem with that happening, but you cannot play it both ways. For me, you are hypocrites, and I do not support anything you say, and I don't believe any of your beliefs because you're just saying them. You don't actually back them up. And, again, I've said it time and time again, that's what these idiots do. These idiot executives that preach and preach and preach, and these Hollywood types, they preach and preach, and they say they believe this, and they say they stand for this. They don't. They're just saying it because they know it sounds good. Not even does it doesn't even always sound good to everybody. It just sounds good to sometimes to a specific group. But, some things they say obviously sound good to a lot of people, right? The idea is solid, but the execution is horrible, or sometimes it gets away from them. That's what these people do. So, no, I'm not going to follow WB on anything. They're freaking cowards. They're freaking hypocrites. You don't do that to Johnny Depp, who, again, the crime is not even punishable by jail, whereas Ezra's is. So where in God's name are the more... you know what I mean? Like, why isn't Ezra being punished? So, and I also said this, too. Like, I don't care about the drinking and... getting Ezra's life turned around. There should still, by the way, like, if you assaulted somebody publicly, if that choke slamming incident actually happened, you should be punished. Like, I don't care about turning your life around. Sure, that can happen afterwards, but there is punishment for that. You don't just get to go around doing that and then that you feel sorry for them and say, oh, well, he was going through again, like, even the same thing with Johnny Depp, Amber Heard. If there's a real big time crime, or anybody, literally anybody, again, you can understand maybe why they did it or what was going through their head in that time, like the mindset. That's fine. You can analyze that and you can have a good, honest back and forth discussion. But they still did it. So there still should be a punishment to it. So Ezra should in this case, okay? Amber Heard, I do think is like a criminal. I think she's done things that should result in some sort of punishment. Johnny Depp, I'm honestly not sure. I don't, in my heart, I don't believe there is. And honestly, even in the courts, based off what he's been like caught in, there's obviously nothing that winds him up in jail. But Ezra and Amber, so there should be some sort of a legit punishment. And then we can talk about turning their lives around. Can we do that? Is that fair? I think it is. So, yeah, Hollywood's had a real tough time, right? A star of The Flash, a Fantastic Beast. Ezra's going around getting arrested, going around, attacking 23-year-olds, going around attacking dart players. He doesn't like sharp objects, like all this stuff. Fantastic Beasts 3 comes out in like 2 weeks, buddy, so you should probably stop really, really quickly because you're in that. You're like the third main character of that. So, great. And again, like, I get passionate about it, but honestly, I like it. I actually like this stuff because I want to see Hollywood burn. I do. Like, Hollywood is horrible, and I don't think it'll ever fully collapse, but I think it'll collapse enough where we can get some sort of rebirth from it. And we're not there yet. We're we've reached the point where like they're seen as gods and better than us. Now we're at the point where they think they're gods and better than us, but we all know, well, we're waking up. Some people are waking up. Some people are already awoken, all that stuff. But we're at that point where they're plummeting, sales are plummeting, their status as like these people that are like bigger than life, that's gone, all gone. That stuff is disappearing, and we're at that stage. Now we still have a little bit, we still have like their clawing to death part where like they are almost entirely extinct, which we're getting to, and they like are clawing their last marks to say, hey, we're still around. Like, we haven't gotten there yet, but that's coming. And once that happens, once that passes, then we can get a rebirth of Hollywood. Hopefully a group that just shuts up, because honestly, again, I'm really just fed up with these people thinking that they know more than us, thinking that they know what we want when they are completely disconnected from reality. Time and time again, they've proven that. They preach one thing. Will Smith's apology, talking about violence is never acceptable no matter what. Oh, is that why you slapped the guy? So you only say things. You don't mean them. You say things in your little speeches, which is pre-written. You say things in your little apologies on Instagram, but then you go out and you slap somebody for making a joke because you're insecure because your wife cheats on you every day. That's, and I don't care. Like, that's the truth. That's an issue, and I'm fed up with it. I'm done with it. So anything Will Smith says, any of these stupid apologies that are, again, written for, like, Instagram viewers mean nothing. Actions mean more than words. And when your action is slapping somebody for making a joke, that speaks more than your apology the next day saying violence is never acceptable, because you're a freaking hypocrite. That's what you are. Hollywood. Well, it always gives us content, right? Maybe not necessarily me. I don't really talk about this stuff all that often, but other people, they get to talk about this stuff quite a bit. So let me know what you all think about this. Thank you for being here, again, for the Save Point podcast. I had a lot of fun. My voice continues to hurt. My throat continues to hurt, but I will push on. It's still only Thursday. I got more videos to do today and tomorrow, so hopefully I make it through. But thank you, truly, for being here every Saturday, trying to make it that way where we do a new episode, and I hope to see you guys on the next one.